Do you think that when you become older, you will still know the difference between a cockroach and an ant crawling on your back? Yes, because that's a lifetime memory. Okay. How about people? If when someone touches you on your shoulder while you are from behind, would you know who it is? Sometimes, yes. Or there's this joke. You know, what's Momo in English? Well, people with a speech impediment, okay? There are people with speech impediments because of a cleft lip and palate, right? It produces some type of tone. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about now. So there was this guy, okay, went up to his wife, put his hand on his wife's face from behind and said, "Asshole." And she was like, "You're the only one who speaks like that. Why would I even guess who you are? This means to give away." But that involved what? Auditory. But if it was just the touch alone, she wouldn't know who it is. Okay? So that's how our brains work. It's always the information. If the information is incomplete, we will have incomplete perceptions. Very good. For example, that's why I always tell you this. If you hear someone saying something bad about you behind your back, 90% of Filipinos, okay, I'm saying Filipinos because I don't know how Nepalese and Indians will act on this, but 90% of Filipinos would have the impulse to punch that person's face in. To think that 90% of the population loves to gossip as well. You know what I always tell people when they come up to me and say, you know, this person said something about me. And I said, did you actually hear that person say something about you? No. Who did you hear it from? You heard it from someone else. So I told him, go up to the person, ask the person, and you say this about me. Before you start, thinking about how to murder this person. So, again, it's incomplete information. And this person is already acting on incomplete information. So our information, the only way we can act appropriately is if our information is complete. Okay? The information we get from our sensory system as well. My question is, if someone were to stab you from behind, what would your first reaction be? Ouch! You didn't say ouch. Ouch! No, yeah, you would probably react verbally, right? You're so social, ouch. Yeah, right, huh? Ouch. Your first reaction would be to act verbally, but it's a split second. What else would you do next? Yes, it's either you punch the person before you lose blood and pass out, or you run, right? Fight or flight. That's what we mean by fight or flight. It's either you fight or you fly, or you flee from the area. So, that alone, okay, although you don't know who the person who stabbed you is, okay, so be careful with the people around you. Okay, look to your left, look to your right, and please hope that you don't do anything for them to stab you. So look again. Although you don't know who the person who stabbed you is, but the mere fact that they stabbed you, what receptors are now working? Pain, of course. Okay? It's not your itch receptors. Your itch receptors will not react to stabbing. Okay? Your pain receptors will start to react, but because even if it's incomplete information, what will happen? It will trigger a sympathetic response. Because, remember this, if you are in danger in any way, please remember this. If you are in danger in any way, if your survival is threatened, you will always have sympathetic reactions. Your brain will always do everything to survive. Remember I told this we talked about this cardiovascular tissue, right? What happens if you are in shock?
The vasodilator.
Vasoconstrict. Yes. The you guys forgot already. CNS is ischemic response. Remember I told you, the brain will disregard everything else as long as it survives. And that's why there's a CNS ischemic response. So even if you are conscious, if you see a jeepney speeding towards you, what do? Do you run towards it? No, you run out of the way. Right? Your initial reaction will be always to survive, to defend yourself. And that all the time. What do you need to defend yourself? For example, if a guy came up to you from the front with a knife, if you decide to fight him, what do you need? You need more blood flow to your muscles. Right? Because if you have no blood flow to your muscles, what's the use of fighting at all? The only way that blood is brought up to your muscles is an increase in heart rate, sympathetic response. Now, when you decide to run, by the way, please, if someone's coming at you with a knife, as much as possible, do not fight that person, just run. Okay? How about the flight response? What happens there? You need more blood flow to the muscles in your legs because you are going to run away. That's a sympathetic response again. So do you now understand that whenever you are threatened with harm or your survival is threatened, a sympathetic response will always occur. Okay? Yes?
Like, we have taken to see, the people, those who are blind. The first time we meet, they have either option, but the second time we meet, they just touch us and they can know who we are. How is it possible?
Oh, okay. So how do you recognize people? Is that
like the blind people,
yeah.
when we meet, they just touch us and they can know who we are. They just recognize us.
Okay, very good question. So, for example, blind people, how do they know who you are?
Yeah,
But even if they don't see you.
yeah.
Okay, very good question. I actually help you answer to that. Remember I told you about last week. There's a word I use, and I'm going to write it down so that you all remember this word. Okay? I mentioned this word last week. Okay? Neuroplasticity. Our brain, aside from always wanting to survive, our brain will also adapt to our situations. If, now I'll do it again, you lose your sight for any reason, what happens? Your other senses will become higher or heightened. So for blind people, what sense do you think is now at a higher level? Your sense of hearing, your sense of touch, and, well, taste not so much, okay? But yeah, there will be an increase in taste. Smell, and what else? Proprioception, yes, okay? And what else? So, okay, smell, hearing, touch, proprioception, basically those, okay? Those are the senses that we heighten. How does this happen? The term neuroplasticity means our brains are very moldable. What do I mean by moldable? Have you ever played with clay? Clay? Remember, you can shape clay any way you want it, right? It's the same with the human brain. If you lose the sense of sight, your other senses will start to compensate. Because your other senses start to compensate, what were the senses we mentioned? Auditory. So your worries area, or worries area, will start to grow bigger. Why will it start to grow bigger? Because the neurons there will start to adapt. They'll start to develop more connections, and they'll start to develop mass. What other cells support the neurons? Remember, the astrocytes. So if the